On the edge of the Naim camp just outside Somalia's capital, Zamzam Mohammed shows us the fresh graves of those who have died here.
1, 2, 3.
There are 30, she says, in total, victims of this country's record drought. As the camp administrator, Mohammed is tasked with burying the dead.
Baby. Kokone illa iyo kokone. All baby.
From that corner to this one, she says, this line of graves is all children. It must weigh on your heart to have to bury these little children.
Ani mama ahay, hoya ahay.
You feel such sadness when you bury a baby, she tells us.
Adiga dareemaya.
I'm a mother, and I can feel their pain as a parent. Some 500 yards away, Noorta Ali Homi has yet to visit the graves of her 3 children. Severely malnourished, they died after contracting measles. I cannot bear to go, she says, the grief I would feel. Aid agencies warn that Somalia is marching towards another famine. Nearly half the country is hungry. Some 800,000 people have been forced from their homes this year alone. So 2 months ago, this camp didn't even exist. Now, there are more than 870 families living here. Conditions are dire, and the world's attention is elsewhere. Thousands of miles from the front lines of the war in Ukraine, the impact of Russia's invasion is being felt here. Food and fuel prices have skyrocketed as Russia's blockade of Ukrainian wheat threatens global supplies.
The wheat that is consumed in Somalia, 92% of it comes from Russia and Ukraine when you put together. So the price of wheat has doubled. In some areas, 150% increase.
So you had climate change, COVID, but the war in Ukraine is really threatening to push Somalia over the edge.
Yes, definitely, yes, yeah.
And what about if the war continues in Ukraine, if that blockade remains in place? What impact will that have here?
I cannot imagine what will be the impact.
The stabilization ward at the Banadir Hospital offers a glimpse of what may be to come. There are no empty beds and many desperately sick children.
He's unconscious.
Dr. Hafsa Mohammed Hassan works around the clock to keep her youngest patients alive. How many years have you been working in this hospital?
8 years.
8 years. Have you ever seen so many children being brought in with malnutrition?
No, this is the worst situation I'm seeing. And the number of the cases are increasing day by day. The hospital is very occupied with these cases.
Are you overwhelmed?
Yeah, it's overwhelming. The situation is overwhelming. Yeah.
In one bed, we meet Hareda Abdi and her 4-year-old son, Mohammed. I already lost 3 children in this drought, she says softly. So you came here to save your son? How do you cope with that kind of loss, to lose 3 children? How do you get through the day? I can't cope with the situation, she says. I just pray my remaining children will survive. It's a prayer shared by so many women here, one that the world has yet to hear.